Welcome to Buzz in the Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s. Our mission is to take you on a most excellent adventure through time. Buzz in the Tower is so much more than a podcast. It's the map to One-Eyed Willie's treasure. And all you have to do is sit back, listen, and repeat after me. Klaatu! Barata! Buzz in the Tower answers the questions you didn't even know you had. Like, who would win in a fight, John Rambo or Hans Gruber? Or who is dreamier, Jake Ryan or Marty McFly? So as we rank, debate, and offer fresh takes of the best from 80s cinema, please remember, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to a podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Don't forget to subscribe to Buzz in the Tower on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For bonus content, you can find us on all social media channels by searching our handle @BuzzInTheTower. For more podcasts, information, or to contact us with topics you'd like us to talk about, visit our website, buzzinthetower.com. That's BUZZN, thetower.com. Buzz in the Tower is brought to you by Verde Media. Max, I couldn't be happier with the way our website looks.
So good.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at our website yet, you need to right away. These guys, website development, online marketing, they are outstanding. Am I exaggerating at all?
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend having them build you one.
I love it. I love it. Look, they're the best of the best. And working with John, their owner, a self-admitted 80s martial arts movie nerd, was an absolute joy.
Is that why you said the best of the best?
That is why I said. Yeah. That was a tip of the hat to John. They're more than our sponsor. They're our partner. And if you are looking to build a website, they are the group to go to. Find their link on our website and check them out, Verde Media. Today's episode, congrats, you're having an 80s baby, part 2. We've already taken you through the journey of how to raise that kid up to adolescence, but today we're taking you to the finish line. 12 to 18 years old, the movies that you need to make sure that young woman or young man is watching to put him on the right path. I'm Mo Shapiro, and joining me, as always, the Miss Piggy to my Kermit the Frog, Max Sanders. And with that, let's jump back into How to Raise an 80s Baby, 12th birthday.
So is it puberty yet or no?
Yeah. I mean, so now we're at adolescence, 12 to 18.
Okay, this is the terminology.
This is middle school, high school.
Spectus amoratus.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Most 12-year-olds, that's 6th grade.
Yep.
13 is 7th grade. 14 is 8th grade. So this is when life starts to get terrible.
Yep.
In my opinion. I think...
You terrified for this for your kids?
Yeah, I am. I think when you're 12 years old is probably right where half of your friends are still okay being goofy, dorky little kids, and then the other half think they have to be mature adults, and that...
Yeah, and half of them are tall and half of them aren't.
And that conflict mixed with hormones just creates anxiety.
That's a stew I do not want to
the worst.
sip on.
It's the worst. So because of that, I picked a couple of films that I think are pretty important, right? So the first one I picked is Labyrinth.
This is too old for that. This is a 5-6-year-old.
No.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you don't like Labyrinth? I mean, you don't hard dislike it, but you don't love it like I do. What is your issue with Labyrinth?
The acting is just campy. And Jennifer Connelly, who I love, is just kind of just that floaty voice, like, you have no power over me kind of thing. You know, she's wearing these flowy dresses. David Bowie is David Bowie's normally a good actor. Didn't enjoy him in this. He just seems kind of campy.
I'm kind of surprised you don't like this. I'm wondering if
maybe it's the hair.
So I love Labyrinth. Even above and beyond selecting this as the movie that I would want to show them, I like this for a lot of the same reasons I like Neverending Story. I love the idea that you start to have this at 12, 13 years old. Imagination starts to disappear. Kids stop believing in...
That's not Sarah's case.
I know, right? I know. She's like 17.
She's in the deep end of
I know.
imagination.
She might be like suffering
She's
from hallucinations.
Yeah. Like, maybe you should let go of animation a little bit.
So this is Jim Henson directed this.
There it is.
That's not the only reason that I love this. It's not. It's a big part of it. It's a big part of it. But the story of, perseverance. She's going through this maze and she doesn't think that she's made any headway, but that's the whole point point is that she is, because she's still moving and she's still going.
I love that they switched to the arrows.
Yeah,
the little guys switching
yeah.
the arrows. I do like the little details.
I was going to say, there's a lot of great things in here. The characters. How can you not love the characters?
Ludo?
Yeah. So even before we even hop into the characters, I would say there's just so many fun quotes like, you remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. What power? The power of voodoo. Who do you do?
Okay, yeah, like the riddle stuff is fun.
It's great.
Yeah, with the two doors, like one can never lie. Did she get that right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It confused me.
It does confuse me too. I always, every time I watch a movie, I like hit pause and I'm like, I have to think it out of my head.
I can't get it.
Ludo can call rocks.
Yeah. That is a weird.
And by the way, the best ever costume, which I've just never done, would be to take like my dog and put like a Didymus on my dog and then turn the dog into Ambrosius.
Oh, that's pretty good. And you should be Jareth and your kid should be the goblins.
I couldn't fit into what Jareth wears, so I don't think I'm going to be Jareth.
I want humiliation.
I think I'll pass on that. I'm more of a Hoggle than a Jareth, so I think I'd probably go with that. Oh man, but yeah.
No, be Ludo and your kids will be a bunch of rocks.
Oh, that's a great one. I could do Ludo.
Yeah.
Like,
and they move when you say stuff.
Oh, which they never do. But I love that, in this movie, Sarah, she learns the value of her little brother and,
right.
and just family and believing in herself. And she again is going through that angst, that high school adolescent angst of feeling alone and disconnected. And
you think so? I don't get a vibe of her just be outside of she had a wild imagination.
She's a teenager who is just reading like old novels and believes in goblins.
I think a 7-year-old would love this.
Yeah. Well, I think,
when'd you watch this?
That's a great question. I don't remember.
Okay.
I've watched it a number of times. It resonates throughout my childhood. So
still today.
Yeah, right. I still love it. It's a great movie. But for 12th birthday, I think it's
12,
good.
We're on a little rocky ground for me.
All right. So I know that you're not a huge Labyrinth fan, but I think the second film I picked for the 12th birthday, you'll be happy with.
Dazzle me.
Very happy with. A little film called Big. Tom Hanks.
I don't get it.
Oh, that's good. You Josh Baskin son of a gun.
Robert Loggia.
Oh, he was great. He was great. Little chopsticks.
Zoltan.
Yeah, that's right. It was Zoltan.
Don't look at me all crazy.
I had to think for a second. You're right.
It's a very unique name. How do you not think Zoltan? What do you think the name was?
I couldn't remember.
Oh, man.
I have many.
You got Josh Baskin?
I know. Isn't that funny? That's so true. Because I remember the most obscure things.
Great movie.
Great movie. So this movie, going back to just where you are, you're 12 years old and you're making a very conscious decision that some 12-year-olds are totally cool being kids and other 12-year-olds want to be big.
Or you.
I was one that wanted to be big.
Me too.
And it was a mistake.
Yep.
This movie solidifies the most important lesson that you could teach a 12 or 13-year-old, which is enjoy being a child. There are very few times where I watch a movie as a child and as an adult and I pick up on the exact same lesson. I mean, you watch this and, Josh Baskin, everything from missing his mom to his best friend to, he falls in love, but he wants to go back to his life. And we've joked before about how.
Stayed.
You made the comment, he should have stayed.
Great job.
But that's the whole point, man. The whole point is that despite having the great job, the girl, like what 12, 13-year-old boy doesn't want to have his own apartment, his own money?
And he's a video game designer.
But the point is that it's not as good as being a 12-year-old kid. There's nothing better.
Inventing modern video games is a pretty cool
thing to do.
No way, man.
No way. Just playing around with your friend, going to the park, living your life. That's the jackpot.
So tomorrow you can wake up and you can be a 12-year-old you or Jeff Bezos. What are you doing?
12-year-old me.
Oh,
a drop of a dime. Wouldn't even think twice about it.
Bezos is going to live for 500 years.
In particular, he will. He's going to go Disney and cryogenically freeze himself. Yeah. But in particular, I go back to being 12 now because all of the things that inhibited my ability to enjoy that, I recognize now. So I wouldn't be so consumed with what other people think. I would feel more confident. But even without those things, like I loved that age, except for when you hit 13, 14, 15.
You were made fun of and all that stuff?
Oh, it was horrific. Well, so I unfortunately went from being like a giant dork and made fun of all the time to deciding to become a horrific bully so that I could protect myself. Yeah, it was the worst. Unfortunately, I was really good at it too. So
you're still good at it.
I am a bully. It's true. Just to you. Just to weak people.
Oh, God.
All right. So that's 12. Now, 13, the bar mitzvah year. This is special.
Yeah. I went to 200 bar mitzvahs.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm from the most Jewish town in North America.
I went to like 4 bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, one of them, they rented out FAO Swartz and turned it into a dance club.
Oh, my God.
I know, it's crazy.
You lived in a different world than I did.
It wasn't my fault. I was just born there.
I guess. Well, yeah. I mean, you can afford expensive therapists that tell you to watch Terminator 2, I guess. Yeah, there you go. So for the 13th birthday, we're going to start off with The Karate Kid.
So you think you're Daniel's son? is what I've established.
Yeah, it's not unfair. It's not an unfair criticism. If I was from Jersey,
with your mom?
because the story just
single mom.
It speaks to me. Yeah, single mom.
Yeah.
It just the story speaks to me, and I think you're 13 years old. What 13-year-old does not feel out of place?
True.
Like everybody feels the fish out of water is like the national logo.
You love the fish out of water
because it's what a 13-year-old is. Like you're dealing with your hormones. You're dealing with half your friends want to go hang out with girls. Half your friends want to still play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, Daniel's got no friends.
Daniel has no friends. Moves to a new place. Starts a new life. Has no father figure in his life, and he's got Miyagi. Yeah. The most beautiful pairing ever. Again, similar.
Little weird.
I would say similar to Back to the Future. As much as I love this movie, if my son came home and said, "Dad, great news! You know that old guy downstairs? You know the janitor? He's going to take me to his house on the beach. It's kind of far away, but don't worry about it. And he's going to have me do a lot of hard labor for him. Then he's going to take me in a boat, dunk me in the water, and teach me karate.
And Jim Beam, he's going to pass out.
Yeah, he's going to pass out from drinking. And I think he was in the military, but it's okay. It's going to be great."
He'd be arrested so quickly.
Immediately. But we know the truth behind it, which is it's one of the most sweetest, beautiful stories, sweet relationship. And for that 13-year-old, I think that up to this point, all of the pop culture that they're starting to just get cracked and put into their skull is showing these larger than life action heroes with 20-inch biceps and these women who are just supermodels. Yeah. I haven't done that. Yeah. I'm only giving them 2 movies a year. They're going to be watching other stuff no matter what. Mm-hmm. And when you see Daniel LaRusso,
yeah, he's 100 pounds.
He's just an average dude, right?
Good soccer player.
Yeah, decent soccer player. Allie's a better soccer player than he is.
That's true. Allie's great.
She's great. This movie serves as an opportunity for any 80s child that we're raising to know that you can be the underdog, you can be bullied, you can fight through it.
You still be the best.
And you can be the best.
Yeah.
Around. And nothing is ever
Finish it.
I don't want to finish it.
Get him a body bag.
So second film for 13th birthday, a little Rob Reiner flick called Stand By Me.
Mo, you cheap dime store hood.
Yeah, there you go. Written by Stephen King.
He writes everything.
He does. He's great.
Is that even a bragging point at this point?
No. Like, but he's so talented. He's so talented.
He's funny too.
He is.
He's like on Twitter.
He's very political.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of his political
stuff? And he's mean to people.
Yeah. He doesn't mess around.
Yeah. Red Sox fan.
Yeah, there's a ton about this movie. This is a movie that we could really deep dive into, but for the purpose of why we're giving it to that 13-year-old, this concept of kind of fortifying the value of friendship, right?
Right.
That they all, sometimes it's okay for everybody just to run away. They're all just running away. They got all these issues going on.
Just run away.
And they all go
away.
They go on this adventure with each other, and they learn so much, or we, I guess, learn so much about all of their insecurities and the socioeconomic issues they're dealing with, and that one of them,
interpersonal relationships and all that.
Well, and the one of them just that his brother becomes his identity. I know.
Yeah.
And that becomes his identity, and then he feels trapped by that. And it's a really kind of cool movie because it's innocent and it's fun, but at the same token, there's a darkness to it and a reality to it where they realize that there's real consequences for how people treat each other and that you have to kind of rise above that. It's such a fun, good movie for a 13-year-old to watch.
Yeah, it's loaded too. River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, Butterball, Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. You love Butterball, Jerry O'Connell.
I do. It's so weird because he's the handsomest dude ever now.
Right?
Gives me hope. One day I'm going to be handsome.
You've got not a lot of time. Oh, that's good.
Too mean.
That's so mean. I'm a bully. We talked about this, right?
So.
14th birthday.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
14th birthday. Let's start off with a little Footloose.
Footloose. Yeah.
Footloose.
Love it.
You want me to butcher the song? Footloose.
Goose.
Caboose.
Moose.
Got the goose and moose. I still don't know any of the words to
10 bees.
Everybody trapeze. Yeah. I don't know any of the words to it.
It's so much fun to do that.
I do like making up the words. And then we all talk about how Kenny Loggins, this song he liked, unlike Top Gun, Danger Zone.
Kenny Loggins, I'm free in this, is one of my favorite parts.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. So Footloose, I think that the tragedy of my life, of my childhood,
the
tragedy.
Footloose, man, it messed me up bad.
It did, because I was like, why don't I know how to dance? Do you know how to dance?
No, it sucks.
Did you feel like our parents failed us somehow by not teaching us how to dance?
They can't dance either. Can your parents dance?
No. Yeah. Actually, no. My dad, I think, was like a ballroom dancer or something.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know.
Can you do the hitch?
I can't do anything.
Can you do the Hitch Will Smith kind of thing?
I can't. I took dance lessons before I got bar mitzvah, and I took dance lessons before I got married.
Took dance lessons, bar mitzvah, and before my prom.
And neither of them helped.
They gave up on me. Yeah. They're like, you're good.
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
So Footloose
Only
is
Ren.
Footloose. We were talking earlier. You brought up the whole thing about like being cool. Like how do you value? What's
Ren is
more
cool.
important? Ren is cool in the right way, right?
But he can dance.
Yeah, but
that's the establishing point of him.
But even if he couldn't dance, he still was cool because he was fighting for the right things, and he wore a tie to school. He listened to music. Like he was cool.
It's all based on dancing, but
all right, fine. Cool. I admit the dancing's a big part of it, but I think it's for. I'm picking this for a 14-year-old. So I think seeing this is important because there is a natural, again, 14, 15, 16-year-old, you're going to rebel, right?
But it's rebelling for the right reasons. Fight for what you believe in.
Bingo, you got it. It's not just rebelling for the sake of rebelling. It's seeing a real reason to do it. And I love Lithgow in this, right?
Lithgow in this is my favorite. Reverend Moore.
Yeah, and there's a great lesson here because especially, I don't want to get too political because God knows everybody will lose their minds because of the days and age that we live in right now. I know, I got to walk the tightrope. But one of the things I loved about his character is that he had a very strong conviction, and when he saw his conviction be taken up by other people and taken too far, when they were burning the books, that
was rough.
Yeah, but when he saw that, he was able to find balance in his conviction. So I'm not telling you should be more liberal or you should be more conservative. It was just nice to see a character where his character arc found this middle ground.
No, be Lithgow. Take new information.
Be Lithgow.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Lithgow.
Just be Lithgow.
Don't be Kenny Loggins though. He annoys me. He hates the fact that he's an 80s movie music guy.
I know.
Just embrace it.
And love it.
I'm Free. Great song. Oh, fun fact too. In the beginning of this movie, you see all the feet dancing? There's 150 different people dancing. The gold shoes are Kenny Loggins shoes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I looked it up.
All right.
Oh, also shout out Diane Wiest. Is that how you say her name? Diane West or Diane Wiest?
The mom, right?
Yeah.
She was like, go ahead.
She's the ultimate 80s mom.
Right.
Lost Boys, Parenthood, this. Like, she's just a calming presence.
She's great.
She
I liked her in this. She
Yeah.
was really good in this.
Great short haircut. Takes a lot to, pull that off. What?
Nothing. You're just funny. Like, who says that great short haircut? It takes a lot to pull that off.
It does. I like mid-90s Meg Ryan haircuts. That's like a big thing of mine.
All right. Anyways.
Moving on. Stiff breeze.
Don't sneeze. Stiff breeze. That got me. Stiff breeze got me. One day we're going to have to learn the words to that song.
Also, Chris Penn, really good in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, so funny story about Chris Penn.
Sean Penn's brother.
You need to watch Best of the Best.
Well, it's a bad karate movie.
It's not a bad. It is a terrible karate movie, but he's in it, and he's a racist, ignorant, terrible cowboy karate guy, and he turns around at the end. But he has some really terrible lines, and that movie did not age well at all. I don't even know that it turned out that well when it came out, but you need to watch it. Put it on your list. Put it on the list.
But he was actually a wrestler who couldn't dance, so they used the wrestling moves for him to do the dancing.
That makes sense because in Best of the Best, you can see he's got some moves.
Nah, he's got moves.
He's got moves. Second movie for the 14th birthday, a little ditty called Top Gun.
You're dangerous.
Yeah,
I like this.
That's right. So Top Gun, team first. Never leave your wingman. That's the whole message of the entire movie is team first, never leave your wingman.
But they all don't like Maverick because he's kind of him
And
first.
what does he do?
Eventually he learns.
That's right. That's the whole, do you know any do you remember being 14?
No.
I used to coach high school football. All I dealt with was 14 and 15.
I was like, when you were 14?
No,
Wow.
that'd be really, I did look like I was 20 when I was 14.
What's up, guys?
I know, right? Hey, I'm going to coach you today. This is what all 14-year-olds do. This is where they start learning this definitive concept that the world doesn't revolve around them, that there's more people to it. The teamwork message in Top Gun, the coolness of Top Gun. This is like when I tell you, my wife wouldn't tolerate me acting like Maverick. And what's your answer to that? You don't have the jawline of Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, and you don't play volleyball shirtless in your jeans.
I don't. Wow, I have been known to play. Not in jeans. I have played volleyball.
Can we play together?
No one can't. We play together. Please put that at the top of the list of the worst things you've ever said to me. But Top Gun is. We can't just keep on dumping high moral lesson movies into these kids' heads. We gotta have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, sometimes you should be an F-18 and rock and roll.
And this is just
over
fun.
Russians.
It's just fun. It's a fun movie. 14-year-old would dig it. So yeah, it's a fun, great movie to watch at that age, and I think it'll help again teach those important team first, never leave your wingman.
Also,
lessons.
consequence of your actions. Look what happened to Goose.
Yeah.
Meg Ryan's all sad.
Well, what was the consequence? Did he do? Oh, you're saying a Maverick's actions. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that you could kill your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't kill your friend.
That's a horrifying lesson to teach, but
now. If I'm showing this to Jake and the Take My Breath Away scene comes on, do I watch it with him? Is that weird?
It is. So I remember my mom used to take me to R-rated movies when I was 15, 16 years old,
Okay.
mostly action films, or my dad would take me. It was less weird when my dad would take me, but I just remember every once in a while there'd be that kind of like gratuitous nudity scene,
Sure.
and I would just be super uncomfortable. So I think for Uncle, it's cool. I think
put my
Uncle
hand on
Max,
his knee, be like, attaboy.
no, that's where it gets super weird.
Okay.
If you just take him and sit there quietly, I think it'll be fine.
Okay. I'm going to blow it.
You are going to blow it. I can already tell you're going to blow it. 15th birthday. 15 is an interesting age. You get your learner's permit for driving. And again, a lot of the two movies I picked are really prepping. I'm prepping them for that 16, 17. But the two I picked for 15, first movie I picked, Pretty in Pink.
It's John Hughes. It's about time.
Yeah. This is the first John Hughes movie I put on the list.
Took you a while.
Yeah, it did take me a while. Pretty in Pink, there's a lot going on here, right? So
great movie.
When I saw this movie, I think it was, and again, I didn't see it when I
saw it a month ago.
You did, yeah. I think the first time I saw it was probably in high school. And it really was one of the first movies that did a nice job identifying that like class is a thing. And it's not always a good thing. And
was that a thing that there was like the Robert Smith, the Cure kids, and then the cool kids?
Every generation has this issue, right? I mean, you look at 90s high school romp films, even 2000s, like there's always like wrong side of the track, right side of the track. But this movie does a pretty good job. I mean, Andy and Ducky are the wrong side of the track kids. Blaine.
Poor Ducky.
Blaine is the most rich kid name ever. Blaine. Come over and see Blaine.
What was James Spader's name?
Oh, God, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was something absurd,
yeah.
I'm sure. Not Blaine.
Yeah. But he was like the ultimate rich
Probably
kid.
Todd.
Yeah.
Todd and Blaine.
Yeah.
My favorite scene is the principal is with Andy and basically saying, you should really consider losing this attitude that you have because you continue to have this attitude. You're not going to fit in. I'm paraphrasing, but
Bad advice.
Andy's response is, that's a beautiful theory. And and like, if you think about what she's saying, and maybe I'm drawing too much into this, but I think that the defiance of that or the acceptance of that, where either she's saying it in a sarcastic way to defy the entire conversation or the acceptance of it. Like, yeah, and these are people I don't want to be accepted with.
This is her best movie, I think.
Molly Ringwald was great in this.
Yeah, it's her favorite movie.
I believe it. It's the most serious. I mean, it's not like, the other movies are a little bit more campy and goofy.
Yeah. So it's actually based on the song Pretty in Pink by the Psychedelic Furs, and it was Molly Ringwald's favorite band. Her and John Hughes collaborated on that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
cool?
funny.
And by the way, the favorite scene, by the way, is the Blaine computer trick. How did he do that?
I don't know.
It's like 1985.
I know.
How did he do that?
Because he had probably like Steve Jobs next to him.
He
or
probably
something.
did, yeah. Wozniak.
Yeah, just helping him out. But it's
the dad. What's going on with the dad?
he's an alcoholic.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was just sad.
No.
Wife
He's an
left.
alcoholic. He's an
Okay,
alcoholic.
Interesting.
And that
makes a lot more sense.
But when you're younger, you think that whatever your life situation is what everybody's life situation is. You don't realize that that's weird. Like if you have one dad, two dads, one mom, two moms, they fight, they don't fight, whatever the case might be, you just assume like that's my norm.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you start getting to be 13, 14, 15, 16 years old that you start to realize, wait a second, like there's a whole other group of people that live a whole different way. And this movie addresses that in a good way. And I think it's a good movie to show a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old. I think I have 15, right? Yeah. A good movie to show a 15-year-old to get them to understand that you're going to deal with this, and you're not always going to be the richest kid. You're not always going to be the poorest kid. You're not always going to be the tallest or the shortest or the prettiest or the ugliest. I know you will be the tallest. So I love this. It's a great movie. So for a 15th birthday, this is a great way to start. Second movie for 15th birthday is one I think you're going to like a lot. 16 Candles.
So now I have a question for you.
I bet your question is, Mo, why are you doing 16 Candles on the 15th birthday? But remember, I'm kind of doing them a year out ahead.
No.
No?
I just want to borrow your underpants for 15 minutes. That weird?
That's not weird at all.
Yeah,
no.
it's appropriate.
Farmer Ted, they're all yours. Take them. Sam, Molly Ringwald. A lot of the same themes that are in Pretty in Pink, minus the class issues. This
is much more fun.
It's lighter. It's lighter and silly. I totally agree. It's
the most dated movie of all time, by the way.
It is very dated.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah, there's not very much.
Long Duck Dong.
Yeah, there's a lot of inappropriate
stuff. The Rolls Royce
stuff.
scene.
A lot of inappropriate stuff.
Shocking.
Yeah. But without getting deep into this movie, I'll tell you the reason that I love this movie and the reason that I put this in here. I put 16 Candles in there. I know that all of these are supposed to be gender neutral, and I certainly think that my son would enjoy this on his 15th birthday. But there's a scene that really just gets me every time. Do you remember when?
Happy birthday, Samantha?
No, not the kiss scene at the end.
That gets me.
You would like that because Jake Ryan. Is that what your sister named your nephew after? Jake Ryan?
No, Jake the Snake, the wrestler.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So my favorite part of this movie is there's a scene where we've already gone through the whole thing of Sam's birthday being completely forgotten.
That's rough.
It's very rough.
You ever done that with any of your kids?
No.
Come close?
My
Facebook kind of helps you now.
Yeah, Facebook helps a ton. My mom forgot my 14th birthday.
Ouch.
It was the year after my bar mitzvah.
So you can relate to this.
I can. Well, I didn't cry as much.
Did you passive aggressive it?
I did. No, I was just aggressive. I whined in front of her. I soaked her for a couple of extra presents because of it. But,
that's what you do. That's a plan.
I'm a terrible person. But my favorite part of this movie is she's laying on the couch. Her dad goes to check on her, and she basically confides in him that she's in love with this handsome, beautiful guy named Jake Ryan who thinks that she's a total dork. And the dad says, and I love this, well, if it's any consolation, I love you. And if this guy can't see in you all the beautiful and wonderful things that I see in you, then he's the one that has the problem.
Aww.
And she replies, I know it just hurts. And he says, that's why they call them crushes. If they were easy, they call them something else. I see that scene and
Miyagi,
I'm like
wisdom.
little Miyagiism. Yeah. I see that. And I'm just thinking to myself, I really, really, really hope that when my daughters are 15 years old, that they feel comfortable to come talk to me about that kind of stuff.
You gonna give her the thumbs up when Jake comes by in a Porsche and takes her from your other daughter's wedding?
I'll murder him.
That was a weird scene. Give her a thumbs up.
No, just so we're clear, when Jake shows up to the house, I'll murder him. But I still want my daughters to feel comfortable telling me about what's going on. Okay. But it'll be blood everywhere. It'll be terrible. So moving along.
It's so funny. Andrew Michael Hall in this movie doesn't even have a name. He's just the geek.
Farmer Ted.
What do you mean?
That's his name in this movie, Farmer Ted.
That's like a nickname.
That's his name. That's like Farmer Ted. My buddy's band in high school was called Farmer Ted.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And John Cusack, young John Cusack.
Oh, yeah. And his sister was in it, too. She was the one with the headgear drinking out of the water fountain.
John Cusack.
John Cusack. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that covers the 15th birthday. Let us now move to the 16th birthday.
Mo.
Max.
My pizza's here.
What do you mean your pizza's here?
I got a pizza. I was hungry.
When did you order her pizza? Are you even paying attention to what we're doing?
Texting right now.
Unbelievable.
Can I eat?
No. You can eat. And we can take a break, but before we do that, we got to talk about our ads.
Okay, fine.
Sponsor time. Buzz in the Tower is brought to you by Capsiva Pain Relieving Gel. And I can tell you that if you're sitting at a table across from a guy who has to go to the bathroom every 25 minutes, you're going to get arthritis, you're going to get muscle soreness, psoriasis. Capsiva is all natural. It's okay. Capsiva is all natural and designed to increase blood flow for the healing and pain relief process. Try it for free at capsiva.com. That's CAPSIVA.com. And Max, I'm an old man and I need this kind of stuff. It works. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's like Wilford Brimley in Cocoon. You know what I mean? You feel revitalized.
That's exactly what it's like. Buzz in the Tower is also brought to you by Lindsay Larrabee Photography. If you have checked out our website, hopefully you have. You've seen the amazing photos that were put up there. Lindsay,
so good.
Yeah, Lindsay and her team did all of those.
She teased my hair.
She was fun to work with. Just made the whole experience really exciting for us. She has been taking photos of families, children, and smiles in Metro Detroit since 2017. She loves what she does, and it shows. She works with her clients, catches everything in the moment, and adores watching the connections and relationships unfold in front of her lens. If you mention Buzz in the Tower, you get $25 off any family session in 2021. You can find Lindsay on our website under our sponsors page. Check her up and get some work done. She is fantastic.
Yeah, she made us look good. She can make anyone look good.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So 16's big. 16's independence and freedom.
Yeah, driving.
Get the driver license.
I crashed my first car.
What did you have? What was your first car and how'd you crash it?
I had a brand new Passat and I hydroplaned in front of my school and slammed it into a parked cop's car.
This isn't real.
No, it happened. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was really bad.
Were you just having flashbacks of Sarah Connor?
It was in the rain. It was right while everyone was passing through to get to the next class. So it was a movie for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't know why I brought this up.
Yeah, you seem really distressed. You seem very distressed.
I destroyed both cars.
That's great. That's great. So 16th birthday, Max, we're going to start off with The Breakfast Club.
I knew you had to do it.
Yeah. This is required watching for any adolescent teen. That if we want to save the world, if we want to make things better, and we're putting together our list.
You hoping there's more benders out there?
No, but this movie really does an outstanding job.
Yeah, have a voice as a kid.
Yeah. And not even, I think that's actually a really good point. It wasn't where I was going to go, but you're right. Having a voice is a huge part of it. The other piece of it is there's all these different types of people and they're all going through the same hell that you are.
Yeah.
That is eye-opening because when you grow up, if you're not the jock, you think the jock has the best. Yeah. If you're not the artist, you think the artist has the best deal. Like you covet, I'm going to start quoting Silence of the Lambs. What do we covet, Max? What do we covet?
It's weird. Don't do this.
I'm sorry. Yeah. The word covet, I can no longer use in my lexicon because of Silence of the Lambs.
So who did you relate to the most in this movie?
Oh, gosh. That's a great question.
I feel like you're an Andrew Clark guy.
I
I failed shop.
I probably would go between the two, probably the nerd and the jock. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't strictly put myself as a jock, but
yeah. I mean, I'm into Allie, but that's for different reasons.
there you go. Which we don't need to hear about.
Dandruff art all over my face.
The voiceover speech
Love it.
at the end of the movie, where the letter's been written.
Do it.
I'll do it. But it summarizes why this has to be what you give to a 16-year-old on their birthday. Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms, in the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each of us is a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Music. Do the music.
Hey, 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 hey. Ooh.
Fist in the air. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
By the way, my favorite part is when they're telling...
My imitations of them?
No, that was really good.
They're terrible.
They were pretty bad.
Terrible.
Yeah. But the scene where they admit why they're in detention, that's not in the script. They just improv that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that
that's
crazy?
very cool.
Because it seems like super important.
Again, the lesson you're showing that 16-year-old is everybody's life sucks when they're 16. And these lines, these artificial lines that get drawn don't have to be there.
No.
It's a great movie.
When you grow up, your heart dies.
Max, the second film for 16 is one that you love. This is, I think, actually one of your overall favorite films from the 80s.
Okay.
It's a little ditty about Jack and Diane. No, it's not a little ditty about
John
Jack and Diane.
Milken song?
It's not, yeah, I know, right? Milking? John Milken? Milking the cow? How about Mellencamp?
Fred? Or...
Go to shows,
Oh, it's Ned Riley, not
Ned
Fred.
Riley.
Ned.
There you go. Ned Riley?
You know that guy everyone comes up to him and says that?
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible.
Say anything.
Cameron Crowe. Let's do it.
Yeah. Lloyd Dobler.
Yeah. Best top 5 movie in the 80s for me.
Yeah, this is we mentioned this earlier when we were talking about some of the beauty of these movies is that the hero isn't always like Dutch from Predator.
No.
You know, he's
a fast talking nervous nerd.
Yeah.
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 Who invented MMA.
It's so funny. I was just watching this the other day and I'm like, oh my God, like was anybody talking about MMA when he did this?
There's no doubt him and Dana White formed a multi-billion-dollar company. That's what happened. He's actually a 3rd degree black belt because of this movie.
Really?
Yeah. He's like super into kickboxing.
So he
looked good in it.
He
did.
He did. The idea behind this, that all of these movies that we watch in the 80s or even now, it's a story as like the guy's the most popular guy, but he's a jerk and he has a change of heart and becomes a better guy, or the guy's a total dork and becomes
zero to hero or vice versa.
This is a story about a guy,
middle of
the road guy that everybody likes. He's nice and he wants the girl who is the valedictorian, the brilliant,
Diane Court.
Yeah, that he couldn't have.
So does she exist in real life? Did you know someone in high school like this?
Yeah,
Really?
there were a couple girls that I grew up with who, like, they weren't the prom queen, but they were just the most buttoned down, going to Harvard, brilliant women.
Still good looking?
Yeah,
interesting.
Absolutely, yeah.
It seems like a very unique kind of motif in a movie.
And the part of it I love too is that he has 2 completely separate friend groups.
Yeah.
Like it's also so rare to see that he's got these 2 girls that he's like really good friends with, and he's got these other guys he's friends with.
I love the girl whose heart is broken. Who sings 63
songs
songs about the guy.
I love it. Well, she has the best line in the movie, in my opinion. She says, "Don't be a guy, be a man."
Oh, that's a good one.
I thought the whole conversation, she said, "The world is full of guys. Be a man, don't be a guy."
No, the best line is when he's telling his dad what he doesn't want to do with his life. He goes, "I don't want to sell anything, buy anything, or process anything as a career." And he like breaks it down for like 5 minutes about processing and buying.
At the end of it, doesn't he just basically say that his career goals, he just wants to spend as much time as he can
I just
with
want to
his
hang out with your
daughter
daughter for a while.
Oh, God. Great movie.
So good.
So you're giving this to a 16-year-old, and it's great for 2 reasons, right? You're giving it to, the 16-year-old's a girl. I think for them to see like
how you should be treated.
Yeah. And that you should be made to feel this way, and that don't overlook the guy who's just the guy, right?
Let's talk about the father-daughter relationship too. That's super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this is the most open a father and daughter had been on screen to this point, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And not to mention just the coping with. He ended up being a total dirtbag and went to prison, right?
Yeah.
But coping with the idea that as we get older, we start to learn that our parents, although we love them and worship them,
fallible.
Yeah, exactly. They're fallible. And then the other piece of it is if you're a guy and just like like learning to be a good human being and a good dude and not a
It's
not a
hard,
jerk.
too. Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, when he's in the parking lot talking to the 4 dudes.
Yeah, and they're giving him dude advice.
It's like, find someone who looks just like her.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, she broke up with you in your car, your Malibu? That's your castle, man. It's like the most high school. It's Jeremy Piven, too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it's great. This is a great lesson movie, how to don't be a guy. You know, I just love that.
Also, shout out Joan Cusack again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the little kid is the best little kid in any movie.
Yeah,
He's just punching and, good nephew.
Fun. Yeah.
I hope my nephew's as cool.
He will be. We're going to give him these movies.
Yeah. Oh, do you know who actually came up with the idea for this movie?
Who?
James L. Brooks. Broadcast News.
Oh, I know
Simpsons.
James L. Brooks. Yeah.
So he was at an airport and he saw a father and daughter and he's like, what would it be like if the father committed a crime and like broke up that relationship?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's a weird way to start it.
End of the movie too. The last 5 minutes when they're just waiting for the cigarette thing to come off.
Yeah.
So cool.
That is fun.
Yeah. Tension.
I think I've used that before. Trish hates flying, and I think I may have like co-opted that.
Oh,
even though
really?
It's not
No
true.
way.
And been like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just let it go ding.
It was not fine.
It was not fine. All right, Max, 17th birthday. Let's do a deep dive into the sausage king of Chicago, Abe Froman himself, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
He's one righteous dude.
Yeah. I love that. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a really great reminder to not take life too serious.
Yeah, he moves pretty fast.
Yep. You gotta smell those roses.
You do.
Or am I
drive a
passing?
Ferrari once in a while.
For your 17th birthday, this is where some kids start taking the SATs, the PSATs. You're starting to look at colleges. You're in your junior year of high school.
You get neurotic about it.
Everything.
You could become a Cameron.
Right. And again, I told you in all these movies, I try to put the movie a year before, right? So I know Cameron and Ferris are both seniors in this movie, but I thought this was a good movie to see your junior year of high school to prepare you for it. So they're not all
a little
out.
earlier, yeah.
A little earlier, yeah. So Ferris Bueller's Day Off, tons of wonderful lessons. But the thing that I like the most is probably Cameron. Cameron reminds me of me. I was Cameron.
Yeah, I hate that I'm like Cameron.
Yeah. A little neurotic. I wasn't as bad. I was probably in the middle of Cameron and Ferris, but mostly Cameron. And I love when he's laying in bed and
let my people go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know. When Cameron was in Egypt's land.
And the music comes on.
It's the best.
Yeah.
When he's laying in bed, Ferris keeps calling him and Cameron says, "I'm dying." And Ferris says, "You're not dying. You just can't think of anything good to do."
Yeah.
And that's life. That's life, right? Because if you're not doing things that are fun or kind of seizing the day and having a blast, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you're dying.
The voiceover where he's talking to you, the audience, it's almost like your own internal monologue should be like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, have fun with yourself.
Yeah.
And be in the shower, give yourself a mohawk.
And Ferris
play the clarinet.
The clarinet. No lessons.
Never had a lesson.
And Ferris has his issues, but he is an emotional Sherpa for how to deal with high school.
Well, they're both, I think they're yin and yang of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want my kid or whoever's seeing this to see the scene where they're like, "Where's your brain? Why'd you kick me?" You know, that's how you should deal with your friends.
Yeah,
you should,
absolutely.
It's going to be a back and forth.
Yeah.
Like this.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I feel about this.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is fun. It's exciting. Even though he's manipulating his parents, there's still love there.
His
he
mom's
loves
awesome.
his parents. Yeah.
She's an all-time underrated mom.
And they both, and then his sister, right? Like even that part of it is fun
Her
for
and Charlie
me.
Sheen.
Oh, they are
God.
great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they are absolutely great.
He didn't sleep for 2 days to get ready for that role.
I know his cameo in that was so great.
It was just him.
Yeah,
He's
just
like,
Charlie
up?
sheening it out. I know, right? No, but even that relationship going from like hating and having all this jealousy towards him to like bonding and the value of siblings and just having that one day, having that one moment where you're just enjoying everything.
That shining perfect day. Did you have one of those ever?
I tried. It wasn't as fun.
I never had one.
I did.
My parents would call me after school and make sure I'd call from the number of where I was staying.
Yeah.
So I was screwed.
You know Guy, right?
Yeah.
So Guy and I went to we both called in sick for the day at school or something, or told our parents we were sick.
Mo Shapiro's Day Off.
Right, I know. And like that's what we modeled it after that, and we ended up each grabbing $20 and going to an arcade called the Spaced Arcade.
Well, that sounds fun.
We played video. It was fun, but I wasn't singing Shake It Up Baby in downtown Chicago.
Well, that's very unrealistic.
Well, you never know. You gotta set your bar high. I would never be able to recreate what happened in that movie, but I could have probably done better than playing video games all day.
You should have done a couple things. You need to have like events.
Right.
Go to a dinner,
slice of
have an
pizza.
experience, call in, have a phone call in as Abe Froman or Froman.
Abe Froman.
Yeah.
Sausage
King of Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And Sloane. Sloane's good.
Sloane Peterson.
What happened to her?
I don't know.
I heard she got in like a car accident and things got weird for her.
I don't know. What else was she in?
I don't know, but she's like iconic in this.
Yeah.
She's like her and Phoebe Cates are like it, right? In the 80s.
Right.
Yeah. And Kelly Lynch. Shout out Kelly Lynch.
Yeah, Kelly Lynch. Second movie for the 17th birthday.
Okay.
I'm gonna gush about this one a little bit.
You've been gushing.
This one is.
You all right there? Tissue? You're crying.
I Dead Poet Society.
Okay. Warm Robin Williams. I like it.
Yeah, Dead Poet Society. There are so many life lessons in this movie. Yeah. Like so many life lessons in this movie.
Don't be an actor.
No, that is not one of them. That's funny. All right, let's just go to quotes, because quotes will help me walk through what
Captain,
the lessons
my captain,
are.
walk me through this.
Oh, easy.
I'm on my chair. I have to say it.
I know. So there's a time for daring and there is a time for caution, and a wise man understands which is called for. So this is right after the kid does the prank phone call saying that God called, saying it should be a co-ed school.
That was a great line.
And he got paddled.
Yeah.
And he was, waiting for Robin Williams to validate.
Right?
Yeah. He was waiting for Robin Williams to like validate this act of rebellion. And that quote is what Robin Williams said. And when you're 17 years old, I mean, you are just you're evaluating your world and you're saying, wait a second, like
you're a sponge.
Yeah. Wait, no.
You want to be like,
not even your, no, you're going down the total different direction than I am.
Enlighten me.
Less about being a sponge and more about you're starting to realize that all the things that you were being told have some truth in them, but you're starting to pull them apart a little bit. You're saying, I was told never to do this or this would happen. And then you do it and nothing bad happens.
Taking the scab.
You're rebelling, not just in action, but in intellect. You're rebelling against everything you've been told. So this idea of time to be daring and time to be cautious, that balance is something that's really hard to get a 16, 17, 18-year-old to do. Mm. And that lack of balance is what leads to a lot of horrific mistakes that kids make.
So you think this would affect a 17-year-old pretty good?
I think so. I think that hearing that message in a film that was done really well would sound a lot different than Dad saying, you got to be careful out there. You can't always rebel.
Yeah. Or Ethan Hawke being blindfolded and forcing him to do a poem.
Yeah. I love that part.
Oh, it's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Another quote. We must constantly look at things in a different way. This is when he had him get on the desk. Yeah. The idea that same things in the room, different perspective from where you're standing. That's a critical element of brain development for adolescents, being able to see the world from a different perspective.
Big Hero 6, Pixar. Also, I think they stole that from this.
I have not seen Big Hero 6.
Shut up.
Is it good?
You'd love it.
All right, I have to watch it.
That's the main lesson of the whole movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a different perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch that for sure.
You'll cry.
And then obviously, you said at the beginning, Carpe Diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary.
What about sucking the bone marrow out of life? I like that one. Henry David Thoreau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dead Poet Society.
Great name, too.
Is it your favorite Robin Williams movie, or do you go with Good Will Hunting?
It's either Good Will Hunting, Mrs. Doubtfire. So his best performance is Genie in Aladdin. That's the best use of Robin Williams. Actually, no. I'm going off the board. Good Morning Vietnam.
Good Morning Vietnam.
That's the best.
Really good.
Because it's just him being him in a room.
Yeah.
And he also learns stuff.
Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah. This is going to look terrible on my resume.
17th birthday, Ferris Bueller's Off, Dead Poet Society.
Great birthday.
A great birthday.
That's the best one so far.
We're rolling into the last one.
Yeah.
We've been at it. We have almost fully raised this child using the best of 80s films, except we didn't use Best of the Best because that's a terrible film, but we've used a lot of good films here. Rolling into 18th birthday, starting off with Great Outdoors.
So I was skeptical when you showed me this one.
I know you're not a huge John Candy fan.
Love John Candy in this.
In The Great Outdoors.
Best use of him as Chet. Father of the Year.
Yeah.
I get it. Like the bear story, when he's telling the bear story.
Big Bear.
Yeah.
Big Bear.
His command of the room.
Yeah.
And also he's like the greatest dad.
You nailed it. Yeah. So I'm glad you saw it. So like maybe a little bit of me towards the end of this list. It's almost less about educating the 18-year-old and more about me. Like I want an 18-year-old to see this movie and realize that this is what a great dad looks like. Yeah. Someone who loves you, who still wants to kiss their son on the cheek, even when they're 17 years old, who's taking him out to this cabin because that was a part of his childhood and he wants to share that, who gives his ring to his son.
And he let him run around a little bit. He had a girlfriend, the kid.
Yeah. And the whole movie is just like, this is what family looks like to me, right?
Had his wife talk him down off things.
This uncle that like,
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, he was great, but he was awful. Yeah. He was the worst, right?
That's the premier Dan Aykroyd, like kind of
jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, even though he's a jerk, that they find the middle ground and they all come together. It's just this really fun, cute, wholesome, funny movie. And I love, this is who I want to be as a father.
Yeah, no, it totally
I
works.
want to be Chet Ripley.
Would you eat a 98 6-ounce steak?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Old 90, was it 98er? No, it was 96er. Yeah, the old 96er.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, John Hughes movie. So
I did not realize. Oh yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
And I love the raccoon subtitles, by the way.
That's they're
great.
The trash pandas. They're the best. And I think I start getting nostalgic when we put these movies out there for the 17 and the 18-year-old, because part of it is I want them to just start seeing the value of like your relationship is just starting with your parents. You're going in a new phase, and all these things that you thought were lame or you didn't enjoy doing that were traditions, there's a reason behind them, because they're building this foundation for you to have this beautiful relationship with your family.
Yeah, it's never too late. You see Dan Aykroyd and the twins at the end, they start talking.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So it's like you can turn it around.
You got it.
Just got to save your kids from a bear.
Boom, a big bear. Big bear. Big bear.
And dynamite. The dynamite was excessive. I was like, oh my God, there's wet dynamite? That's dangerous. Freaked me out.
Are you ready for the last movie?
Yeah.
So this is a tricky one. So the last movie is not actually going to be the same for everyone. The last movie, when you're raising an 80s baby and you want to make sure that you raise that baby the right way, and they, on their 18th birthday, just finished watching The Great Outdoors, the next movie that you're going to pick as a parent, as an uncle, as that person who is trying to guide that youth into a successful life, that last movie should be your favorite movie.
Oh, okay.
I think that it's really important, especially when you have children, throughout their life, to let them understand and see what makes you tick, to understand the personal side of their dad, of their mom, of their uncle.
Yeah, so you're not just the parent.
Right. You're a human being. Yeah. You had pleasures and things that you liked. So for you, Max, when Jake gets to be 17 or 18 years old, right? Taking him to your favorite restaurant in Ann Arbor, taking him to something that had meaning in your life, letting him see what was important to you, it has value because they start to realize, wow, like Uncle Max had a whole life outside of just being Uncle Max.
Yeah, it's always fun seeing your parents' people. I love that.
Right. Yeah. So the idea in my mind is you pick the movie. There doesn't have to be a moral lesson. There doesn't have to be anything that's teaching the kid, but you pick the movie that means the most to you. So for me, this is an easy one, right? Mm-hmm. When my kids turn 18, although I suspect they'll see it before they turn 18 because you'll probably come over and let them watch it.
Is this what I think it is?
It is what you think it is. I'm sitting down with my kids, my 80s babies, when they turn 18 years old, and I'm watching Predator.
Dutch.
I'm watching Predator because I want them to understand 10 years ago, I started doing a podcast, and here's why. And 20 years ago, I was at a birthday party with your Uncle Ian, and I was watching Predator, and here's why. I want them to, this is what makes me tick. I love the movie Predator, and I want them to see me get excited about something.
I adore this so much.
That's the last one.
Yeah. So
what would yours be? And don't say Predator.
Top
Gun.
Well, it applies if we're like, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? That's a great movie for that too.
Yeah.
But for showing who I am.
I'm going to give you a little bit of an out here.
No, I can do this.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because my little bit of an out is it doesn't have to be an 80s movie, but I'd like it to be an 80s movie.
No.
You have an 80s movie that fits the profile?
We will never talk.
I wish people could see your eyes. You are looking at me with disgust right now.
No, the 90s didn't happen. The aughts, is that how you say it? The aughts didn't happen.
I have no idea.
The teens.
I have no idea.
No.
All right, what is your definitive movie if you want to sit down, let's use your nephew, Jake.
Yeah.
He just turned 18.
Okay.
He just watched The Great Outdoors. Every year he's been opening 2 DVDs from you. You made sure that he grew up to be a great stud, although I'm sure that your sister and her husband will do a good job too.
Yeah, they're going to do
They're going to do a great job. But 18th birthday, you sit down with Jake. What do you put in the DVD player? What do you put on the TV that says this is Uncle Max?
Well, first of all, we're going VHS.
VHS.
Okay? Yeah,
all right.
I like it.
I like it. Yeah. So it's like vinyl, except the sound quality is garbage on VHS.
On a 13-inch screen.
Oh, that's
TV.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm going cocktail.
Cocktail.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
So I bartended for 14 years, still bartending.
Yeah.
And it's just a microcosm of how I existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't have to tell them the embarrassing stories of actually what happened. I'm like, I'm Brian Flanagan.
Yeah. Coughlin's Law. Absolutely. Law. I love it. That's a perfect pick.
Yeah. I mean, best Tom Cruise ever, too.
So for Predator, do I have to lie to my kids and tell them that I was like a special ops mercenary?
You kind of were at the bar we worked.
Yeah. There you go. Well, look.
And also, we should have been bar poets. Got it on the table and just
we wasted. No, I'm not even gonna say that.
No, we did a good job.
We did a nice job. We had a lot of fun. I was saying before I look
like,
back.
You slow your roll.
I know. We really lived life to the fullest when we were bartending. You still are. So I mean, that's great.
Oh, by the way, great life lesson quote too. Everything ends badly, otherwise it wouldn't end. That's from this movie.
I like that.
Isn't that a great movie?
That is a great quote.
Yeah, that's a good quote. Like your high school girlfriend dumped you and you're just a mess.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta
good.
do. Yeah. Coughlin's Law.
Did we just save the world? It feels like we just saved the world.
I think so.
I mean, 2 movies at a time.
Yeah.
In wrapping this up, final thoughts on my part. I wasn't, I was kind of tongue in cheek at the beginning of this, but and to a certain degree, I was serious. I think that communicating lessons and especially moral lessons and entertainment value lessons to your kids as they grow up, you want to start first and foremost with just having open communication. Like I'll sit down with my kids. I love talking with them, but finding a good movie or a good cartoon or something like that kind of does the job and entertains at the same time. It's hard, but it's worth it because it sticks. I mean, think about it. Like you and I sitting here right now, we could go through almost every single moral lesson that we've learned from like thousands of movies. Some we listen to, some we don't.
Yeah.
So I believe in this. I think we've created, we've cracked the code on how to help raise a healthy, well-rounded child.
Yeah. Cheese around the medicine for a dog.
Absolutely. That's a great example.
Yeah.
We just did 26 pieces of cheese.
Parmesan.
I love
nice
Parmesan.
pepper jack.
They're all blast, but this is fun. And it's also our time to remind our fans, plural.
Yeah, there's not one of you out there.
No, there's many, a multitude. If you liked what you heard, which I know you did.
Yeah, you did.
You did, for sure. Find us on any social media channel that's out there. We're on, and if we're not on it, that means we haven't heard of it. So shoot us an email, and we'll get on it right away. Our handle is @BuzzInTheTower, BUZZN, and also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please make sure that you are giving us 5 to 500 stars. What do we land on?
37 stars.
37 stars. And also a nice review wouldn't kill you.
Yeah, great review.
I'm just saying, Max and I are working hard. What are you really doing? You're just sitting there listening to a podcast.
Tap dancing for you.
Just don't be lazy. Just go give us a nice review.
Well, now we're getting mean. Back it up.
Well, on that note, Max, I'll kick it to you for some final thoughts.
I'm done.
Great work, Max. Great work.
Poetry.
Signing off. Go to show and stuff with Susie. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.